Hi there. Can everyone hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Excellent, excellent. And before I start, I just want to say thank you so very much to Lena there for her presentation. And yeah, I'm in awe of you, Lena. Thank you so very much for that. My name is Shumela Ahmed, and I am the Managing Director of a small but very fastly growing social enterprise called Resilience Learning Partnership. And today I want to talk to you about trauma-informed service design and delivery. And really what I want to talk about is authentic and meaningful engagement, the inclusion of people with lived experience, and the impact that that can make. Can I have the next slide, please? So I'm going to give you a very brief overview of Resilience Learning Partnership and what we do. We're a training and education provider, ultimately with a dual purpose. Our first purpose is to provide learning, development for staff across health, social care, educational and criminal justice. We provide a variety of services, including trauma training. A new and growing area for us is trauma-informed policy design consultation. We'll do workshops, lectures, research is another real growing area for us. Different types of project work, which can include programme writing and delivery and facilitation services. Our second purpose is how we deliver our first purpose. So all of our facilitators, educators, trainers, project leads have lived experience of trauma, as well as the relevant academic or professional experience needed to fulfil the work that they work on. We work to the foundational principles of choice, collaboration, empowerment, trust, and safety. And before I go on anymore, I want to say that we did have the privilege of starting out as a trauma-informed organisation. We're only just under 2.5 years old. And so it is not lost on me the magnitude of what many of you have ahead and what the journey will be for you. But I just wanted to put that out there and say I totally understand the magnitude of this for you guys, and that for new organisations that can start out with a trauma-informed lens, implementation can be quite different. Next slide, please. So I just want to give a quick overview of some of our work today, and I've done this over 2 slides, and the way everything is now, we're going to look at pre-COVID first and then post-COVID. So pre-COVID, RLP was established in 2018, so just over 2.5 years ago, with one member of staff. That member of staff was me. And we now, including sessional staff, have 15 people and growing working for us, or delivering work or helping design work. Some of our clients over the past 2.5 years, and this is by no way an exhaustive list, but I would have needed several more slides to get them all on. But some of our clients today are NHS Education for Scotland, who we work very closely with, Clackmannanshire Council, Kibble, who it's great to see here today. Hi, Dan. South Land Council, NHS Argyll and Bute, who are also here today, NHS Ayrshire and Arran, and a load of others. I don't want to just read from a slide. The work that we've done with those people over the past couple of years has included trauma training, an international conference, which we were very privileged to have a section of, a national project dissemination, another lovely bit of work with Kibble, inputs at other people's trauma training, which is a growing thing for us. Some of that included work around STILT, research and training, actually, which some senior medical hospital staff, which was a nice highlight just before we went into lockdown. We've done that alongside NES. We're also co-authors of the National Trauma Training Plan, which you're hearing lots about today. Also last year, we delivered a TED Talk, and the theme for that day was resilience, and we got to talk about trauma-informed practice on a huge stage, and took it into areas maybe where it wasn't already an achievement for us. And just before we went into lockdown, we found out we were successful for a mid-size fund from the Lottery and the Improving Lives Fund to run our very own programme, which is called the TIER Pathway, which stands for Trauma-Informed Education and Recruitment. Next slide, please. So post-COVID, where we are now. At the beginning of COVID, like everyone else, we were, possibly in a bit of a state of shock, but within a couple of weeks, we created our own COVID response. We call it our trauma response to lockdown. A small team from RLP have been creating and delivering craft and self-care boxes across our own local authority area, Clackmannanshire, but also beyond into Forth Valley, which includes Stirling and Falkirk. And then we've got some going as far as Dundee. They've gone as far as Dundee, sorry. We've got some going as far as Aberdeen this week. Been really, really successful and is still going strong just now. Normal business did start to resume for us midsummer, but most activities went online like everyone else. We were able to begin planning for our tier pathway with getting the new funding. And another lovely thing was new work began coming in. Some of that work is with the kind of bullet point below. So Sanctuary Housing Association are one of the new organisations we are working with around trauma-informed policy design and implementation. And strategic work has really kicked in over the summer as well, which is really encouraging. And amongst all of this chaos and trauma, we won an award. The team who delivers the Crafty Kids Box Initiative won an award, which is a huge achievement for them. So I just wanted to share that here today. Can we move on to the next slide, please? So into the good stuff here, and why I'm really here today and to talk to you all, really is to convey the importance of authentic and meaningful engagement with people with lived experience, because at the end of the day, you cannot call yourself trauma-informed in any way if this isn't at the forefront of your plans. You can't be trauma-informed if you don't engage with people with lived experience and you don't do it in a meaningful and authentic way. The rest are just bullet points, and I am going to read them out here because we've not got a lot of time. But including people with in an authentic and meaningful way through engagement, people with lived experience, the things that it will do for yourself and your organisation is it will contribute towards healing, contribute towards moving on, contribute towards understanding and post-traumatic growth. And I would argue that all of those 4 points actually apply to organisations as well as the people who will be receiving your trauma-informed practice, and your staff as well, might I add. It improves service design, it improves service delivery, and it improves the impact when it's done right. It leads to innovation, creativity, and progressive ways of working. It creates so much opportunity for real and authentic collaborations to take place. It empowers, it gives choice, it builds trust, and it establishes safety. So it's fundamental to any plans that you are making to become a trauma-informed organisation. Next slide, please. And this is my tangible action, as Dan said earlier, a real live example of how this way of working can actually make a difference, and a live example of what that actually looks like. So on the left-hand side here, you have something that was previously called a child protection disguised compliance recording template. Even the name is horrid. And part of what we do in Clackmannanshire and actually beyond is sit on the learning and development subgroup for Clackmannanshire and Stirling councils. That place around that table would never have been made possible without brave and courageous leadership, which came from Neil Wheatham, and I just want to thank him today to say that if it hadn't been for his brave and courageous and trauma-informed leadership, we wouldn't be sitting around that table, and you wouldn't be seeing this live example today. Being around that table has allowed us to work very closely with both Neil and our TPT TIC in the area, which is the Del McLankey for Forth Valley NHS board, on this disguised compliance form. And what we done was we took a trauma-informed lens to it. We had the professionals in the rooms. We've got Adele, the clinical professional. We've got Neil, who is the social work professional, and then ourselves, RLP, who are experts by experience. So professionals in trauma on the other kind of the side of the line. We took a trauma-informed lens to this, and a tool that was previously would have been used to indicate something like an issue that would be followed up with a child protection or adult protection procedure. We can see the traffic light warning system in this, which as a trauma survivor is just triggering in itself, especially in a context like this. And when we were designing the new form with the trauma-informed lens, it was our hope at RLP that in the future, this form could be used in collaboration with clients, with service users, filled out together. Because what the new form does is it looks at everything through a trauma-informed lens. So one of the examples I'll pull out is the top one on the left is the adult deflects attention from the child to themselves and their issues. As a trauma survivor, that it definitely could be a trauma response. There's not a lot of context there. And when you look at the other form, I'm sorry, I know that the writing is small. It starts off straight away asking, well, what could the reason be for this? There are different areas to explore as to why someone may be presenting in a certain way. It gives the professional various different areas to think about and take into consideration before they even tick that box. And what it does is it gives opportunity and opens up a place for discussion with both the client, with other professionals, so taking something back to your manager and being able to talk about them, about what you're thinking, because you're thinking now through a trauma-informed lens rather than a punitive and protective lens. You know, I don't mind saying this, but often I find that most child and adult protection is designed and is there to protect the organisation, to protect the professional, and really what it should be doing is protecting children and adults. And when we start to look at it through a trauma-informed lens, we get away from that risk kind of lens that we're looking through, and we're looking really through a problem-solving lens, really, about what are the problems here, what are the issues, and how can we start to think about them and look at them and address them in a slightly different way. Here
1 minute to go, Shumela.
Warning, yep, I anticipated it there. Just move us on to the next slide, please. So 10 minutes could never do this work any justice, I don't think, but I hope I've given you a wee bit of a kind of brief overview of what beginning to work with people with lived experience in a bit of a different way than maybe you are previously used to within your organisation. And if you'd like to know more about how we can help you as an organisation, please do get in touch with us. And I've just left us there with a couple of quotes, which I don't have time to read, but as Lena said, you can all read, that really convey the importance of working with people with lived experience, the difference that it can make within your organisation and your practice, and the importance of ensuring it's at the forefront of your plans moving forward. Thanks so much for listening.